Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Batwoman Season 3 episode... I have no idea what episode I'm on. Let's see, I think this is the third episode. Anyway, episode entitled Freeze. I gotta give it up. This might just be the best Batwoman episode ever in all three seasons. Cause like for the most part, I never really liked season one all that much. I thought it was just like all right, but it was nothing to like shake a tail feather at. And so with season two, it got a bit better. It got a little wonky at times, especially when they started bringing in Kate back with a different actress. I'm like, we should have did that at the beginning with, but and of course Ryan doesn't have that much development, but there was still like it was still pretty interesting in the second season. And then coming in this third season, it's been pretty interesting with Batman villains finally coming into the show, but they're like the second incarnation of them and stuff. But it's like, hey, whatever, I'll take that. As long as we get to see some iconic like villains and stuff. And like Mad Hatter was cool until they killed him. The Croc dude, Killer Croc had a great look. I forgot what it did to him. I think they cured him or killed him or something. I can't remember. And so I know Poison Ivy's coming soon, but I didn't know when. And then in this episode, Freeze. When it first aired last week, I started to watch it, but then I got busy trying to make a video, and then I lost so much time. I'm like, I'll just watch it on the app. But I forgot. And so I finally watched it today. Man, this is exactly what I've been saying. Like, one thing that's been bugging me about Batwoman so much is that it never really feels like a classic Batman type episode. It feels more like a modified CW version in the whole Arrowverse thing. And I was very shocked and surprised of all the stuff I saw on this. Like, even every character on the show served a significant plot point that didn't feel crammed in, because there are, like, say, two characters really that have been feeling kind of crammed in since the first season, which is Sophie and Alice. Because it's kind of like with not Ryan, but Kate gone, there's really no point for those two characters to still be in the show. Like, the whole reason why Alice was even there is because Kate's her sister, and because of the whole them being separated thing. And as for Sophie, because she was like the love interest, and stuff like that. So there's never really been a point to have them, and they kind of just felt like they were lingering on in the second season, and even more in the third. But they actually had something to do this time until they the writers kind of messed up a little bit. But anyway, so since all the Batman's villain stuff is still out there in the open, and people are getting to it, like some middle school kids got to freeze this like chemical stuff, and they freeze the bus. Well, this catches the attention of like some villains and stuff, and it also we get to see Nora Freeze in here. So anyways, there's still fallout from Ryan and her mother. Basically, I don't like this plot point of Ryan's biological mother not only giving her up for adoption, but like having her and then having people fake some records and stuff. And now her mom's like super duper rich and owns a company, and it turns out she's a villain also. I'm just like, yeah, that's like a Batmanish type thing, like in the comics you'll see. But the thing is, I don't want Ryan to be just another like Batman clone. I really want her to kind of be her own thing. But to tell you the truth, she never really had the chance, no matter what, because this has been done to death. Batman took in Jason Todd, and he was kind of bad, and then he turned into like a criminal. But the whole thing about Ryan is that she had a bad past. She had a criminal past. She's supposed to be street smart, and then he takes her in, and she becomes like Batwoman because Bruce isn't there. She becomes Batwoman, and she turns her life around. And so that's the very Terry McGinnis thing. I will make a video one day about the comparison of those two, because it is very interesting. But they wrote Terry to be a whole lot better than they wrote Ryan, because like, what all do we really know about her? You know what I'm saying? And so she's basically like the female version I've even mentioned that before. She's the female version of Terry McGinnis and stuff. But now they're just trying to turn her into like another Kate Kane or another Bruce Wayne because she now has this rich like family she didn't know about. They own their own business, and on top of that, she is now the acting CEO of Wayne Enterprises, which is the dumbest thing in the world because she does not know what she is doing. But the writers want this very much to be the Batman show. And it can't be that without Batman. So why are they trying to do that crap? And so, like, oh, that's just a dumb thing. It pisses on the legacy of Batman and who Batwoman is supposed to be, and now who this new character is. And the writer, like, who comes up with this garbage, man? Like, seriously, like, how is she the acting CEO? Like, she doesn't have like the skill set. She doesn't have the education for it, and it makes no sense whatsoever. So, anyways, her mom basically just tells her she don't want nothing to do with it. Like, leave her alone, never contact her, do not tell her brother that they're related, or she'll pretty much like just ruin like Ryan's life and she'll take Wayne Enterprises. Well, of course, the brother he shows up, and the brother is very charming. I have to give him give credit for that. I could have sworn I saw him frozen, so I think they're gonna turn him into the next Mr. Freeze, especially because in the next episode, Anti-Freeze, which I did watch tonight. Um, like I said before, it turns out Ryan's mom is the client that wanted the Mr. Freeze chemical stuff, and so like I believe he's gonna get like affected by it. So anyway, he knows who Ryan is. Like his mom didn't even have to tell him. He just figured it out for his own. But he wants to be in her life. But I don't know, like Ryan doesn't really trust him all that well. Plus, she's trying to keep her distant because of what the mom says. And then in the next episode, we find out what happened when she tries to take Wayne Enterprises from Ryan. So before I get into anything else, let me just talk about Alice for a second because she really doesn't do much in this episode, and I still don't understand. Like, I like the actress, but and I feel bad for that. Like, I feel bad for her, and I feel bad for the Sophie character because when Ruby left, she screwed both those characters big time. And I don't even think Sophie's a cop no more because she resigned, remember? So she really has no purpose on the show, but they're trying to like find places for her to work out for the Bat team. She's basically like the Alfred now who stays in the Bat cave and monitors everything. And so with Alice, she's hallucinating this season. Why? Like, I don't know. But she's hallucinating badly. And so like the second season they gave her like they tried to redeem her by having her fall in love with Ocean and stuff like that. And I think it was a little too soon for a storyline like that. But now she's working with the Bat team because Renee Montoya has assigned her to work with them. And Renee Montoya knows who Batwoman is because of Alice. Speaking of Renee Montoya, where is she? She only showed up in the first episode. 4 episodes has passed and she ain't been seen since, but she's been mentioned. So anyway, if they really just wanted to do this to tie it in to say, oh, like, oh, look, this is the Renee Montoya for Gotham and we have her on this show. And that's kind of dumb. That's the only thing they were going to do with her. So anyway, Alice is freaking out. She doesn't want the nanites in her. And so she's just literally just freaking out, which I found very hilarious. So I'll give them credit for that. And she was acting very much like Harley Quinn in this episode because what the character of Alice, I don't know really what she's like in the comics, but on the show she's a cross between the Joker and Harley Quinn. And it's kind of getting a little old and tired of her acting that way because in season 1, okay, fine, it was fine when she acted that way. But by season 2, she was like conflicted. She didn't know she wanted to be bad. She didn't know she wanted to be good. She was falling in love. She was hypnotized magically somehow. And so for her to keep acting the way she acts and for her to keep talking the way she talks, it's kind of pointless now if she's not the villain no more and she doesn't have her gang, and and it's starting to get kind of stale and sour. And so in this episode, it revolves around Nora Freeze, um, Mr. Freeze's wife, who was in that cryo chamber, which was beautifully written by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm, and his people did all that great stuff to reinvent the Mr. Freeze character. Because I love Mr. Freeze. He's an awesome character, but he only became awesome because of Batman the Animated Series. Before then, he was just a generic villain, and then of course he got ruined in Batman and Robin, the movie. But yeah. So it was kind of cool that this whole storyline has still been brought over since like 30 some years ago. And yeah, 30 years ago, to tell you the truth. And so like it even got brought up, I remember, in the Batman. They kind of did a combination of both, where it was like the Bruce Timm version and the old school comic version. And so, like, Nora Freeze is interesting with her. Now, her sister, I forget her sister's name, but it's not really that important. She lives with her. And so, like, I don't know if her sister's from the comics. I know she was in Gotham Girls, which was a web series back in the WB days. It's a really interesting series. It's on YouTube. You can find it. It's also on the DVD of Birds and Prey, the television show, not the movie. And in there, Nora Freeze's sister is like a villain. Anyways, so in this, I forget what they're talking about, but I think they're talking about like she doesn't have much time because Nora is once again dying. The woman just can't catch a break, man. First she was dying years ago, then she got that cure, and then first she got frozen in that little cryo chamber thingy in the water, and then they found the cure, and then Victor Freeze died. I'm pissed they killed Mr. Freeze in this universe. It would have been great to see him. And so the thing is, when she was in like that chamber thing, it kept her youthful. I think she said she's about in her 30s, but she don't look it. She look like a 60, 70-year-old woman because as soon as she came out of the thing, the disease and like the cure and all this other stuff and the chemicals, Mr. Freeze stuff, it did something where it rapidly aged her. So now all those years are like combining within like days and weeks and months. And she said she'll look like she's about 90 in about a week from now, and then she'll be dead and stuff. So there is a villain of this show, and she doesn't have a name. She's just known online as the head mercenary. Now, the actress playing the head mercenary, I really like this actress. I first saw her in Van Helsing, which is on Sci-Fi. It's canceled now. It just got canceled this year. They had their last season, and you can watch it on Netflix. I think one season, the last season is on Sci-Fi app, and I really like her acting. Like she has a great look to her. Her name is Jennifer Sion Garcia. And I remember on Van Helsing, she played originally a villain. She was the head mistress of like this cult of vampires, and she had this crazy look. And she was a great villain in that. Like she really played that role up. Then when she got cured and turned back human, then she became like this sword wielding like samurai type lady. And she was just like an awesome addition because she helped out the good guys and stuff. And I remember, this is so weird because like you see this picture of her and she's like praying in the church with the like machine gun and the samurai sword on the back and everything. Oh, I missed that show. Boy, I missed that show. And so yeah, she's the head mercenary person in this. She's looking for Mr. Freeze's chemicals that she wants, and she wants the cryo chamber and some research on it and stuff like that. And so like she kidnaps those two to do like to help her out with the cryo chamber, tell her how it works and all this other stuff. And Nora Freeze is sassy in this. She basically tells her like back in my day, women weren't allowed to use machines like this. So how do you think we'll know how to use it? But her sister knows how to use it. So she's been keeping some secrets. And then so like Batwoman shows up. And whoo, I love the action in this episode. Normally, the action in Batwoman is not good whatsoever, which is shocking because this is the Arrowverse, and Arrow used to have amazing action choreography, but Batwoman has been slightly lacking. Like the choreographers don't know what they're doing no more, but this action was great. It was Batwoman hand to hand like combat. She was doing like flips or cartwheels or whatever. She was using like some cool bat gadgets, and then she was fighting Jennifer's character, and then she uses her staff. Jennifer takes out like the police baton type thing, and they just go at it. And it was very well choreographed. And that's why I was so glad Jennifer's in this episode, because Jennifer is used to doing action. I hope they bring her back. Now, I don't know why she's not a character from the comic books, because they made her dye her hair red for this episode, because she normally has like black hair. And so I was thinking to myself, okay, she has to be somebody from the comics, right? The red hair, the outfit. Oh, not really so much an outfit and all this other stuff. But no, she's just a regular made up character. And she wants this stuff for like a client. So then at some point she gets like the best of Batwoman. And she ends up kidnapping, I think, I gotta forget, is that Nora or her sister? I think it's the sister, because the sister knows how the stuff works. So Batwoman saves Nora, but then she ends up getting like hurt, and then she ends up getting put in the cryo chamber. And this is like very Batman-ish, you know, like the villains, they put like the hero in like whatever like makeshift thing they make with their gimmick, and like boom, you know what I'm saying? Like so then they have to like try to get their way out before they like die and stuff, you know? And so like when they leave from there, like so that woman, she's screwed. And she's talking to Luke, and he tells her you only got 10 minutes before you freeze to death and everything. And she tells him like to suit up and just find Nora's sister, like just forget about her and stuff. So with the failsafe off his suit, he goes into action. But like so Sophie, she's now in the Batcave, and she's trying to keep like Ryan like conscious and everything. She's flirting with Ryan. And I'm just like, oh no, don't do this. I knew this was gonna happen last season. Because those two became very buddy. But what happened to that lady that Ryan knew that was like a lawyer in training or whatever, who went to law school? Like, I guess she got written off the show. So yeah, at some point in time, Sophie and Ryan are gonna smush. And of course, Mary and Luke, at some point they're gonna smush too. Why? Because this is just like, because it's cheaper to have your characters do it and date than bringing in somebody new and having to pay money, which takes money away from the budget and like stuff like that. The CW is very known for having their characters all just smush each other. That's what happens on Nancy Drew a lot. Plus the fans love it. And so it's like, because why bring in somebody new when you have somebody old there, you know? And so like, then Ryan passes out. And Luke, he decides, okay, he's not going to save Nora's sister. He's going to save Batwoman. And so she's not mad. She's thankful because she didn't want to die. This is what's kind of confusing. Early in this episode, we see that Batwoman uses a laser to get into like some building thing. Why didn't she just use the laser to cut through the cryo chamber? It's strong enough to do it, and it's one of Batman's lasers, you know? Also, she still has her utility belt. There had to have been something in there that could have freed her. Like, there could have been like a magnetic locking mechanism. There could have been like acid pellets. If she really wanted to get like crazy, she could have like used an explosive, but with that close proximity, it would have blew her up. But she still could have used the laser. She still could have used like something. But no, this is what's been bugging me since the first episode of Mad Hatter. They're put in these situations, but they don't use the gadgets to get out of them. What's the point in having a utility belt? So Luke saves her, and then this is what the other cool Batman thing happens. When Luke saves her, he saves her and he beats up some of the people. And when he beats up some of the people, I'm thinking to myself, who taught him how to fight? He doesn't know how to fight. And the suit doesn't make him know how to fight. Like when Terry knew how to fight, because Terry knew how to fight, but his suit just made him strong, and so does Luke. But who taught Luke how to fight? Ugh. And then after he rescues her, he takes off his visor to his helmet. And I'm like, dude, what if one of the villains get up and they see you? Like, and this is the second time he's done that too, where he's removed his visor. And not only can he fight, but he beat up the mercenary lady too. Now I get it because he's stronger with the suit, but still he doesn't know how to do hand-to-hand combat. It's a car chase. So they're in the Batmobile and they're speeding through like town and trying to catch up with the mercenary lady. And I love this. Like car chases in Batman is like a classic thing. It's in all the movies, it's in all the animated series. It's never really happened all that much in the show except for the finale of last season. And she's using the gadgets and the Batmobile and everything. And, oh, before I get into that, so I was very happy with this car chase. I still think the Batmobile looks like crap. It's just a race car. They need a new. They need to just weld some like bat ears to it, and that'll be fine. Just put some ears in the back of it, and it'll be fine. And so like, there's so they're trying to rescue the woman, and they oh I forgot something happens, which is really cool. Part of the bridge is out. When Sophie tells her, you can't jump it. Batwoman don't care. She's gonna be edgy. And so her and Luke come up with a cool plan to like go through the bridge. That has a gap in there. So they're driving. She's driving really fast, and then he ejects himself out, and he flies up. And as he's flying, which I don't notice, he don't have his wings like in the comics and stuff. And how exactly does he fly? Because I don't ever see no flames coming from his feet or his back. Anyway, so he flies up with the Mr. Freeze stuff, and he freezes the gap in the bridge, making a nice runway for her to drive through. That's some nice partnering. Like that was some clever mess right there. And so they grapple like the van and they stop it, and then they rescue Nora's sister. And I like how like the Batmobile had like these it did something where it like did some kind of mechanical thing, and like these snow tire type things kind of happened. That's cool. That's very Batmanish. Now if only they'll put ears on the thing, they could look more like the Batmobile. And so like the mercenary lady, she gets free. So I'm just kind of like, ooh, hopefully she'll come back in another episode and stuff. So then for the conclusion, after like dealing with like Alice craziness, Mary helps out Nora and help her like live a little bit longer than she can with her medical know-how. See, this is what I like. Season 2, I did not like Mary. They just crammed her into everything, and where she just outpunked like Luke and made him into a weenie. Like she drove the Batmobile, she worked the Bat computer when she doesn't know how, and it just bugged the crap in. But now they put her back to her roots of doing medical stuff. She's still punking out Luke, but like at least she's doing her medical stuff now. And so after helping Nora, she tells Batwoman and Luke like, because Batwoman wanted to know like how he's able to use his suit now, because I guess the glitches got out of it. But no, man, like Mary tells her straight up that it's because he has PTSD from getting shot, and the suit has a fail safe that was shut off every time like something happened. He gets anxious or something like that, and so he's pissed that Mary ratted him out, and he's all, look, I'm fine. And Ryan's just kind of like, look, if it wasn't for him tonight, I would be dead. So if he says he's good, that's good enough for me and everything. And I do like the camaraderie between Ryan and Luke so much better than Kate, because like I will say this, I've never been a fan of Ruby's acting, but like I said before, the best scene she ever had was with the Luke character. And it's ironic because she can't even get along with a dude in real life, but they always had great scenes together with their banter and stuff. But with Ryan, with Luke and Kate, it was more like frenemies type thing, kind of thing, because he was just kind of like he thought he was so much better than her. But with Ryan, he used to be that way with Ryan until he learned to like get along with. Now those two act like buds and everything, and that's kind of great. And so like, but Mary's still upset because she's like, he's just not ready and everything. And he realizes that in the next episode. And so, like, what's interesting is towards the end, Mary is out in the park with Nora and them, and when she's about to leave, we see some vines grab Mary and drag her off like viciously and stuff. And of course, it's Poison Ivy. How nobody saw that, I don't know, because she even screamed, but nobody heard her. And I'm just like, that was some great CGI on the vines. Because, it's come a long way. Because back in the day, they used to get like real fake vines and put like a string to it and make them move very slowly, like in horror movies and stuff. But yeah, it's like they did a really great job with the CGI, and I'm very impressed. So I'm really hoping when Poison Ivy does show up, they can do like a even better job when she comes with her flower power type stuff. And I hope they put her in one of her iconic outfits. I really, really, really do. If Poison Ivy is dressed like a regular person, I'm gonna be pissed because I love the actress who plays her, and she needs the outfit. The outfit needs to be green. It needs to have leaves to it. If it's that green and black outfit from like, what is it? Is it New 52 or Rebirth? I'm not going to be happy. I don't want to see that spandex black and green outfit. I want to see more like a Poison Ivy-ish type outfit. You know what I'm saying? So here's hoping. But yeah, like I said before, this was like a really good episode. It reminded me so much of like classic Batman stuff. Even in the car chase, there was music playing in the background. And when I heard it, I'm just like, this sounds like the Batman season 4 when they tried to sound like the old Adam West Batman theme song. And then we hear like a woman singing in the music. And I'm just like, that kind of took me out. I don't think that's really necessary for this type of show. They need more like a orchestra type thing than a person singing. But it was a nice song. I'm not really too sure what she was saying, but it had a nice beat to it. But but I understand they don't want to go with the dun dun dun. That's more like the intro thing, and also because like that's more of like a season 1 thing. But the dun 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 is nice for this show. Like it sounds like a Batman thing, but for a different character, so that's nice. But they do need better music for when like action scenes and stuff are happening, because it's just that. Have you ever noticed that in every CW show, it's always that same action music? Like, it's like that, I'm like, I'm tired of hearing that in every show. Like, change that crap up for each show. Every show should have its own like action theme, and not just like borrowing from one from the other one and stuff. Even Stargirl plays that stupid music. But anyways, alrighty. Well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.